Hey, Scott Russell. Well, we've had the election and lots is going on, lots of talk, lots of change in the wind. And I think it's a good idea to just sort of recap some of that about our lives, where our lives perhaps are headed, and maybe some thoughts on what we should or shouldn't be looking at. But yeah, I think everybody's rejoicing in many ways. Well, everybody, a large percentage of people are rejoicing that actually have any idea of US politics, that that Trump is in there with his guys, and he's going to bring about the American way of life. And I've said this for a lot of years, that even when Trump had his first term, I said Trump is not the president of the world, he's the president of the United States. So as much as the rest of the world might object to some of his policies that affect their country, it's not about them, it's about the United States first and foremost. And as I've continued to say, Trump is a nationalist, he's not a globalist, though I do think he's being influenced by globalism. So I've put videos out talking about digital currency and how Trump will be used as basically a Trojan horse for that. Whether or not he knows, I'm not saying he's good or bad in that. But my observances is already the momentum that he created, the movement that was created behind him and allowed to be created behind him to bring in digital currency. Because I think what people can't grasp here is that nothing else matters. They've created so much chaos so that now as they present something that's an answer, something that brings the American way of life back to normality, in doing that, they slip in the Trojan horse of the digital currencies and digital ID. And I think I'm watching from afar as it's just seamlessly and so effortlessly being done that it's almost like the natural progression. Well, of course we're going to go to this. And I could point out many concerns with that. I mean, really, it's a fiat currency like we have now almost, really, isn't it? It's not, I mean, it's probably not technically, but tell me the difference. Other than the fact that they have complete and utter control down to the minutest dollar. They can track everything that you do with your dollar. They can restrict your movements. They can take everything from you. In fact, they're saying you'll be happy and own nothing. Look up the 2030 agenda from the World Economic Forum. Do I think Trump's a part of that? I think Trump is being played. I think he's God's man. As I've been saying all the way through this, I did believe, and ultimately, yes, it's been shown that he would be the next president. Said that we've all, I think, agreed on that. Well, anyone that has stopped and actually pondered what might be the bigger picture. I do think Trump is still going to wake up to the fact that there's more at play here. And maybe he already does know that, but I have my suspicion that he's not yet. And that won't be after maybe June. I don't know when. I'm not in Trump's head. I'm not in his bedroom, thank God. But, excuse me, he's going to have a meeting with God where he understands there's a lot more at play here. Because once he's gone, the authoritarian measures that are able to be built on what he's implemented are no less than frightening. Excuse me. So my word is look for the tangible, continue to build the tangible. Yeah, celebrate when life, some, traditional morality and things return to society. When values that had been lost, the American way of life is re-implemented in many ways. Pardon me, celebrate, by all means, that's fantastic, but just watch behind the scenes. You're going to see in the middle of all the people being in the euphoria of normal, oh look, we have got our normal back. No, you don't. Because underneath all of that, you're going to have digital currency. Underneath all of that, you're going to still going to have a currency collapse of sorts. How they implement that, how that looks, only they know. Only God knows. I don't even think they know. They have their plan. I think what people don't understand about the heart of men, maybe they do understand it. My apologies, I'm not wanting to be condescending here. But I think that many times we can miss the fact that these men are highly motivated men. I'm not talking about Trump, but the globalists, the men that are behind the scenes pulling the strings. They have spent decades, they have spent billions, they have teams of the world's best people working for them in their areas. really think they didn't expect Trump to win. They knew he was going to win. Like I've said all the way through this, that's why they put this jolly, crazy, shouldn't put her down. That's why they put that woman there and to fail. They didn't want her to succeed. When Trump was going through his trials and people were like, oh, he might go to jail. I said, look, just calm down, will you? I promise you, there is no way on the planet Trump will ever go to jail. I said, they are building a movement behind him to get him in so they can get digital currency and digital ID in. Digital ID, actually, is the bottom line of it all. And all the digital currency, like I've said, all they're going to do is make it that you have to register to go online. They've already done that with this new internet they're bringing out, Sparian or whatever it's called, Spatian or something. Look it up. You're going to have your digital ID to access the internet. And to access that, then all of your crypto dealings are going to be tracked, all of it. And somebody can just throw a switch at any moment of any time, blame the Russians, blame the Chinese, blame somebody else, and boom, your money's gone. The movement restrictions, all the COVID restrictions were a dry run for what they can do with your money. Expiry dates on money, they've done it in Taiwan with their CBDCs. Movement restrictions, your medical ID, digital medical record merged to it. So if the doctor says you can't eat at McDonald's, good luck, declined when you go to try and pay. Digital ID is tragic, it's shocking. And the people that, like I've said, the people that are promoting the crypto, Bitcoin, things like that, you're doing the devil's work for him. Because you are changing the mindset of people to digital. And as you change their mindset to digital and to think that it's digital, all you're doing is the globalist work for them. That's the hardest part done, and you're doing it. So you can look and say, well, and ultimately, let's get right down to it. It's your greed that's doing it, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest. The thing I love about America, they're honest. When they make money, they'll tell you straight, flat out, I'm here for the money. I screwed you over for money. But the rest of the world, they try to sugarcoat it. No, it's not about money. I'm doing it no, you're doing it for money. You love money. You're into Bitcoin because you love money. You're into Bitcoin because of fear. Maybe. Maybe you're as pure as the driven snow and you're not. I don't know. I'm not condemning you for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be honest about it. If you're in there for the money, and know that you're helping further an agenda to change people's thinking. So yeah, I think as we're going to see a lot of peace, a lot of change, a lot of good things come about, that people are going to celebrate, feel like normal life has come back. I mean, you can feel it, right? Some of you can just like take a breath and go, oh man, I feel like I can almost breathe again. Instead of this, what are these crazy people going to come up with next? It's like, no, some of this is going to get wound back. And in that, we're going to be so thankful. And that is good, and it's godly, and it's right. But it was also part of the plan. Because in the middle of it, like I've said, what's your digital ID get implemented? And it's happening so naturally. They're like, we're doing all these wonderful good things. Oh, by the way, we're going to put in digital. Crypto's on the rise. Crypto's going to happen. Crypto's here to stay. It's going to happen anyway. People are going to have to get into that to various degrees, probably to function in the world economy. But ultimately, so I'm not saying it's the digital ID is the big issue. Because ultimately it will turn, I believe, to what the Bible claims talks of as being a mark of the beast, that you can't buy or sell without it. And we're headed that way. Is Trump going to do that? Not saying that. I believe he is going to have that meeting with God in some way, which is usually very personal, very unique, and it'll manifest the way it's supposed to manifest in his life. The term after Trump, we're going to start seeing the unfolding of all hell. And people will be, but you know what? You wanted to embrace normal more than holding on to what you knew was right. So, hope I'm wrong. But, God bless.